I've been getting a lot of comments and DMs on how I color grade my videos. But I've already done a video on that, but let me just refresh a bit and talk about the basics. How to get perfect colors every single time. And I will also later cover in this video how I color grade my videos, even though I did a video before, but I think that was like 1 year back. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you my updated method on how I color grade my videos. So the key point here is get it right in the camera. Let it be your smartphone or your mirrorless camera, just get it right in the camera. So what do I mean by getting it right in the camera? For that, let's discuss about two main things. This is the main element that you need to get it right in your camera. If your shots are overexposed or underexposed, your shots will look really amateur. So even if you are a smartphone user, you still have amazing apps like Blackmagic Camera. It's a free app with which you can control a lot of settings like a mirrorless camera. So you also have tools like Zebra, which helps you know if you have overexposed. So utilize these tools and get that perfect exposure in camera so that it will be easy while you color grade. So if you're a camera shooter, don't raise your ISO to increase the brightness of your image. ISO should be the last thing you adjust, because raising the ISO really introduces a lot of noise, and again it makes your footage look really cheap and amateur. So play with it strategically. The second key thing is white balance. Now, white balance used to be something that I never used to give much importance until recently. Setting a wrong white balance ruins your footage altogether. Even auto white balance ruins some of your shots, because sometimes it introduces color shift, which really kills that professional look. So let me tell you guys a cheat sheet for adjusting your white balance. Now, if you have enough time and if you have something like a color checker, you'll always get a perfect white balance. But for those who have like a run and gun setup, it's not going to be practical to always carry around a color checker. So here's my cheat code for getting that perfect white balance. So this is where you can take notes if you like, or you can just screenshot whatever is showing on the screen. So you enter a room and you think the room is very warm. Set your camera white balance to something like 3500 to 4000 Kelvin. You enter a room and it's a cool room. Set your camera white balance to 6000 to 6500 Kelvin. Now if you enter a room and it's perfect daylight, set your camera white balance to 5600 Kelvin, which is the most neutral white balance. So in simple terms, lowering the white balance to like 3000 to 3500 Kelvin makes the overall image a bit cooler. So if you're in a warm room, as it is, everything is already super warm. So lowering the white balance would be the ideal choice, because otherwise everything would be super bright orange and you'll have a very hard time color grading. Similarly, increasing the white balance to 6000 to 6500 Kelvin makes the overall image very warm. So if you're in a cool room, as it is, everything is super cool. So you need to raise the white balance. Now, if you have a light controlled room like this one, I know what white balance each light is. In that particular case, you can set your white balance to 5600 Kelvin, which is the most neutral white balance. So in this case, I have set my white balance of my key light to 5600, and also I've set the camera white balance to 5600. So it has that natural white light hitting my face so that everything is balanced really well. So once you have the perfect exposure and the perfect white balance, you have a very clean footage to work with. Now, if you really want to make your footage look a bit more professional, what I would advise is shoot in log, because once you shoot in log, it retains the full dynamic range from your camera. That means that it retains every data from the shadows as well as in the highlights. So during color grading, you have more flexibility, if you want to crush the shadows or you want to brighten the highlights. And the best part is that nowadays smartphones can also shoot in log. Now that is something that you really need to make use of. Now before you start color grading, you need to color correct. That means you need to convert your log footage to a more standard picture profile like Rec 709. Now most editing platforms have an inbuilt conversion LUT. You just need to apply a conversion LUT and that will convert this to a more standard picture profile. So in Davinci Resolve, you have this powerful tool called Color Space Transform, which I'll be showing you in a bit. So once you have a perfectly color corrected footage, now it's the time for color grading. Now this is where you can choose, you can over stylize it and make it that really cinematic look. And there are a lot of LUTs available out there, but if you guys want to check out my LUT, I have left it down in the description, and I've been getting very good reviews about it, and it's not expensive, because when I wanted to launch my very own LUT, that is something that I had in mind, that I would never make it expensive. So this is a very affordable LUT, and it's a very cinematic, stylized teal and orange look. So if you want to check it out, just click the link down in the description. So this is my new color grading node structure, and it's pretty straightforward, easy node structure. 4 nodes on the top and 5 nodes on the bottom. The very first thing I do is I play on the 4th node and I bring in a color space transform. So if I enable this, you can see what's happening here. So it's a color space transform. It's present here under effects library. There is color space transform. You can just drag it here. So now for each camera, this will be different. So I shot in Sony S-Gamut 3 Cine and I shot in S-Log 2. And the output color space, as I mentioned, this is the standard picture profile. That is the Rec 709. And the output gamma is the Rec 709A because I'm using an Apple computer. If you guys have a Windows computer, you can change this to gamma 2.4. So this is the color space transform, and now you might be wondering why I'm doing this on the 4th node and not on the 1st node. Any nodes after this node works in a standard picture profile, and any node before this node will act in the log profile, so that all the exposure and everything I put it before the color space transform, so that this is still under the log profile, so you'll be having much flexibility in adjusting the exposure. So once I apply my color space transform as it is, you have a decent looking image. Now why you achieved that? Because as I mentioned, you already have a clean footage with the proper exposure and proper white balance. But still, if you can tweak your white balance here a bit. So I want it to be a bit warm. So this is the next thing that I apply. So I just increase the temperature right here slightly, so you can see the before after. And if you have anything white in the image, you can click this tool right here and just drag and drop it on the white, so it will do an auto white balance. But since you already nailed that perfect white balance in the camera, you don't have to tweak it much. And similarly, the case with exposure, I brought down the exposure a bit in the highlights. As I mentioned, since I'm working in a log profile, because this is anything happening in these 3 nodes have a log footage, so that I can, tweak the shadows to a bunch, and I can tweak the highlights wherever I want. So I have very wide flexibility in adjusting the exposure. And then I bring in the S-curve. So if I enable that, it's just slight S-curve right here. Now in order to create this S-curve, if you come here, there is an option called editable splines. If you click that, you have this. So with this slider, you can bring in up or down and create that nice S-curve. In this node, I bring in my LUT, but you can choose any LUT of your choice. And as it is, it's looking really nice. And after this, I bring in a contrast node. In this node, it's nothing. I just come here and I put a value something like 1.2 to increase the contrast. And then this is the saturation node, not the normal saturation you see here, but for this what I do is, I right click on this node and under color space, I choose HSV, and then under channels, I disable channel 1 and channel 3. And the channel 2 should be the only one that is ticked. And then you come to gain and increase the gain. It will adjust the saturation instead of gain. So it's more like a color depth, not like the saturation that you see here. So it has this more rich cinematic look. So you can see the before and after. It's really subtle. And the next node is the Dehancer node. This is an optional node. It makes your footage looks as if it's shot on a film camera. But I don't enable any of this. I just enable the film grain and halation and bloom. Only these 3 settings I leave it enabled, rest all I disable. And then the very last node is the sharpness node, because I leave the camera sharpness way below so that I can increase this in post. So you come to sharpness right here and you just lower it to something like 0.48. So this will increase the sharpness. If you want to check out Dehancer also, you can check down in the description. It's a really powerful tool. They have a lot of film emulations, so it's just an optional thing, but it makes your digital footage as if it's shot on a film. So that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys learned something from this video, because I have been there, I know I had a camera that can shoot log, but I don't know what to do with any of that, how to color grade, how to color correct or anything. So I watched like millions of tutorials and videos to get it here. So this is like a concise version of whatever I know and whatever I've learned. So if you guys found this helpful, just let me know in the comments. That's pretty much it. For those who don't know, I'm Fenzer. I do travel, tech and filmmaking on this channel. So if you're into that sort of stuff, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all, as always, in the next one.